Good evening. It's me, Jen, again. Anyways, so today I made this message, did a video. It was like 10 minutes, tried to edit it, and it's a hot mess. So we're going to try this again because this was a pretty big piece of me right now that I'm going to trust and share with everybody else. So if you would like to listen and hear, great. And if you don't, keep scrolling. I totally get it. So I was trying to text a friend and share like just kind of like some healing thoughts and things that I'm like trying to work on myself. And so what I kind of said was that I'm trying to take the time to slow down and slow my mind down enough for just a basic understanding of things. Like my brain's so overwhelmed and like it's just like 85 things coming at me all the time. I got diagnosed with ADHD when I was like 46. Yeah, 46 years too late to learn how to cope. So now we try to learn how to cope real quick. Anyways, I'm starting to understand that I have to like I'm trying to look at things from a different perspective. And so I'm questioning lots and lots of things at a rapid fire pace. And so curiously, I'm curious that like I'm starting to see that like if I focus, like I have to wisely choose the things in my past to like focus on and like pick up on, because it's helping me show up as a more authentic version of myself for everyone. I'm sure it's going to feel totally different and some people aren't going to like it. Some people are already complaining and I'm okay with that. Like, cause this is finally me being me. So I don't share a lot with a lot of people about my life. Like I just move about my life and do my thing. I like have experiences, move forward and like, learn from them and I try to laugh and joke. I always wished I would have been a stand-up comedian because I love to make people laugh, but I love to make people laugh through like observations and things that I see. So here's one of mine. I don't share much about my struggles in life, my many failures, because I view failures more as an opportunity for me to find the message. So like I don't ever like I fall, I fail. People are like, oh, it's rock bottom, I failed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like I grew up with a mom who said that she would never change, and I took that as like bet. I'm gonna keep changing every time and learning and changing, and I do. I try to learn how to be a better version of myself. So this is the piece I'm gonna give you and ask you to view it with love and kindness. I didn't intend to become a student and study and understand or try to understand pain. Okay. I married my now ex-husband actually we met in 2010 and then we're married until 2022, 2023-ish, something like that, just to give you a little background and time frame. I knew was chronic pain, all the things, broken back, all of these things, like didn't care. Like when this man started like puking in front of me because of how bad his pain was, like I fell in love with the fact of like how vulnerable he was because he was trying to protect me from it because he's like, yeah, it's pain, I'm used to it, like it is, whatever, YOLO. So I immediately like decided that I wanted to protect him and had no idea. Like I wrote a couple of notes, so that's why occasionally you'll see me glance down because I'm a squirrel and I'm all over the place. Like literally I identify, like jokingly called a friend a disco squirrel, but I'm pretty sure like I was just identifying my spirit animal, which is a disco squirrel, looking for shiny nuts all over the place. So you see, I studied pain without ever realizing it until today. A conversation with a friend triggered this traumatic observation with my Hispanic husband at the time. We were together, like I said, from 2010 to 2022. And so I give people this as a reference. And I talk about his pain and how when I met him, I believed that I was going to start a journey and try to like fix his pain. Because if I could fix his pain, we'd have a perfect life. And when I met him, I was still a store manager for Staples. I didn't go back to nursing school until 2014. So for 4 years of being with him, I was the store manager for Staples. So for a little background, I lived the front lines of the opioid crisis with him. Like I watched people treat him like a drug addict, like he was drug seeking when he would walk into the hospital and have a list of what his pain meds were. And it always broke my heart because he always said, I would give all of this pain medicine to the doctors, whoever, I will give it all back if you could fix my back and take away my pain for the rest of my life. And like that resonated with me like huge. And so I was empathetic back then. And so, but no nursing knowledge, none of that stuff, not understanding how to be an advocate. And so we always would use the ER for his pain. And like a lot of times it was because like they can give him a pain shot and just calm his pain down. Like Toradol, something simple like that would help him. And, but people never stopped to see the person and started assuming that he was drug seeking, which started to break my heart. But here's why. And I think this is also why I became a nurse, because I believe that no one deserved to be treated that way. We had a time where we spent 3 weeks going back and forth to the ER. He would come home curled up in pain on the bed, puking, couldn't keep food down, that sort of stuff. We went to his family doctor, and thankfully his family doctor took us seriously, because we'd gone to the ER multiple times and they turned us away. They're like, "Ma'am, he's fine. He's got meds. He's fine. We can't find anything wrong with him." They didn't really look. So I went to his family doctor. His amazing family doctor says to us, he tries and touches his stomach and gets a reaction, which I later learned was like rebound tenderness, which immediately triggers, like, that's an emergency. So sent him back to the ER because it was attached to the hospital. It was a small community hospital, and sent the instructions that they were to immediately do an ultrasound. Well, they did, and found out that his gallbladder needed to be emergently removed, and took him back to surgery. Mind you, this is probably 2012, probably, so I have no knowledge of any of this. I'm sitting there as a girlfriend, wife, whatever at this point, concerned by myself, because I just brought him to his doctor's appointment because nobody was giving us any answers. So I'm sitting there by myself for an hour and a half, waiting for the surgeon to come out to hear what happened. And the surgeon tells me that thankfully they did the surgery when they did, because he was a week away from becoming septic and dying. His gallbladder had buried itself in his liver, and it was so infected that it was amazing that we were able to like get it out. So like I learned that like pain is so subjective, and people are so afraid to treat pain, and I get that in my soul, because I watched this poor man beg for people to just listen, and I watched pain clinics give him more and more meds when he did not want that. He literally wanted solutions, and we found alternative solutions. However, what made me sad and disgusted was how humanity treated him, how nursing treated him. And he had nurses that were wonderful and amazing, don't get me wrong, but the ones with the judgment, and you could just see, because I can read people's nonverbal faster than I can say boo, because like that's how I was raised. I grew up learning all that stuff. So I'm using something to help me filter my thoughts a little bit, and this is what, when I put this in, this is what the filter came back and kind of helped me to try to understand. This message began as you trying to give someone else a second of relief, but it opened a door in a place where you first learned what could happen when someone's pain was dismissed. What I hear inside this story was you witnessed a medical emergency being repeatedly misunderstood. You watched someone you love curl up in severe pain, stop eating, and return again and again asking for help from the people that should have been able to help him. And according to what you were later told, the danger had become life-threatening. That experience may have taught your whole nervous system when people judge pain instead of listening, someone could die. So you became the person who listened harder, advocated louder, studied every detail, and refused to abandon someone in pain. That wasn't foolishness. That was love, fear, responsibility, and survival becoming braided together. But another truth is present too. You learned to advocate for his pain and gradually became responsible for trying to manage his entire life around it. His suffering was real. The unfair treatment that I witnessed was real. Your advocacy mattered, and yet you could not heal his pain for him, no matter how faithfully you studied it or how much you gave of yourself. And so the part that really hits home, and that says underneath here, like, I talk about why I am now trying to give myself permission to heal with certain things, and why I want to try to use like teach backs when I'm teaching my patients to understand what they understand and what they're hearing, and using curiosity before judgment. But the biggest thing that this stumbled upon, and I sobbed so hard this morning, was that the trigger underneath the story is that your body may not have been reacting only to the memory of his illness. It may have also been remembering the unbearable rule. I am the only one listening. I have to make them understand I cannot stop fighting. That rule helped you survive a frightening chapter, but you don't have to remain on emergency advocacy duty every second of your life anymore. I felt like I had to prove it, right? Like I had to make sure that like we figured out his pain, and I never did. Like I unfortunately, like, we got divorced, that sort of thing, and on my choosing. So it's a little piece of me. I love you all.